Hi, I'm Dan Pilla, tax litigation consultant and author of 14 books on dealing with the IRS, solving IRS problems. We've been talking about the 5 most important things to do before April 15th. We are up to number 3. Number 3 on my list of 5 things to do is take steps now to audit proof your tax return. People ask me all the time, Dan, what can I do to avoid being audited? Well, you know, the IRS can audit any tax return for any reason, and in fact, they don't even need a reason to audit a tax return. But what you can do by audit proofing your return using my strategies that I talk about in my book, How to Win Your Tax Audit, you can actually substantially reduce the pain of an audit and the risk that you're going to owe more money to the IRS if you are audited. My audit proof strategy revolves around the idea of using affidavits to verify intangible items on your tax return. Now, let me explain what I mean. First of all, an affidavit is nothing more than a detailed letter of explanation that you have notarized. When you have that letter notarized, it becomes a sworn statement. It's testimony just as if you might have given it in a court. Now, what am I talking about when I say intangible elements on a tax return? You know, there's a lot of things the IRS can look at on a tax return. For example, if it looks at your charitable contributions, you can demonstrate your charitable contributions just by producing documents to show that you gave money to a church or a charitable organization. But there are intangible things on the return, items for which you have no documentation, particularly if you're a small business owner. For example, if you're claiming an office in your home or your business miles, for example, these are items that you're not going to get a receipt for. You're not going to get a receipt from the kids saying that, you know, mom and dad won't let us use the office as a TV room. When you claim an office in your home, that space has got to be used regularly and exclusively for business purposes, and it can't be used for any other purpose. So it's only your declaration, only your affidavit that's going to be able to prove that intangible element of no personal use. When we're talking about business miles, you're going to get a receipt for your gas and oil, that's true. You'll get a receipt for your tires, that's true, but you don't get any receipts proving that the miles you drove were in fact for a business purpose. In order to prove that, you have to keep a mileage log that shows what the business purpose of the travel was, and when you accompany that with an affidavit that states that the miles were actually were driven for business purposes, then you're going to prove that case. When you use this audit proofing strategy, what you do is you provide information with the tax return that answers any potential questions raised in the tax return. And so there's a two-pronged approach we take. Number 1 is the affidavits that I just talked about, and number 2 is to use an actual IRS form that allows us to do this very thing. And that is Form 8275. It's called a disclosure statement. And it allows you to provide information with the tax return that answers any potential questions raised in the return. And this way you insulate yourself from a face-to-face audit, and most importantly, the pain of a face-to-face audit, which is the IRS wants more money from you. So, this is Dan Pilla. We've been talking about the 5 most important things to do before April 15th. We talked about point number 3, which is to organize your audit-proof documents to put yourself into a position where you're not attacked by the IRS. This and much more information is available in my book, How to Win Your Tax Audit, which is the most comprehensive discussion that's ever been written on surviving the IRS audit process. That's How to Win Your Tax Audit.